Hello everyone, good morning. Myself Muralidhar Reddy. I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect. Now we are going to discussing about understanding AWS Lambda functions. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So for that one, right here you can see that AWS 0 to hero day 30, and here I have written that in the README file. I have written each and everything in detail. We can see that. Okay. First of all, what is Lambda function? What is AWS Lambda? AWS Lambda is a serverless compute service. Using this AWS Lambda, we can easy to enable you to run code without provisioning or managing servers. So if you want to be run any script, right? Example, you have written the Python script. You wanted to run every 1 hour, every 6 hours once you need to run it. Usually what you will do, if you have any server, in the particular server, you can set up the cron tab. That is you can do. But the thing is, you are running every 6 hours. For that one, you need to maintain the server. It will be little bit charged, right? Instead of that one, what you can do, right? We can use serverless compute service, example Lambda. So using Lambda, there we can configure, create the Lambda function, and then we can configure that every 6 hours we need to run that particular Lambda function. Understood, right? And it will automatically scale your application by running code in response to events and only charges for whatever compute time consumed. Example, now I have run it. So they will be charged only for how much memory utilized that particular during that particular running time, the Lambda function in work time. So they will be charged. Understood, right? And coming to that, why use AWS Lambda? First of all, serverless. You don't require to manage any servers, no server management needed, and cost effective. So they will be, we will be pay only for the execution time built per milliseconds, and event driven, and it reacts to trigger from S3, DynamoDB, API Gateway, CloudWatch, some other options we have. So we can trigger the particular one. Understand, right? And scalable. It will automatically scale, automatically handle thousands of concurrent executions. It is automatically, you don't require to mention that everything will be taken care. I mean, this Lambda function will be automatically handle the thousands of concurrent executions. And fast deployment, just will be upload the code and configure the trigger and IAM role. That's it. It is automatically triggered based on you have configured that condition. Example, I want to run every 2 minutes, every 1 hour, every 6 hours. Depends on configuration. It will automatically every time trigger that particular Lambda function. Understand, right? And the secure, we will be integrate with IAM for fine-grained access controller. These are the major features, okay, and benefits. That's why we'll be using this Lambda function especially. Next one, supported runtimes. And as I said earlier, this particular Lambda function is serverless. So what type of code you can run it? Example, you can run it Node.js related application, Python, Java, Go, Ruby, .NET, and also you can configure the customized one. Whatever you can see this here, languages, right? Apart from that, other things also we can configure it using Lambda runtime API. So we can run that particular one, especially in the real time, right? Uh, in in our application, I mean, we may written that code script in the Python or Node.js or sometimes Go language. So depends on our use cases, we'll be create and we'll be run the particular Lambda function. Understand, right? And also here it is supporting the multiple versions. Remember, in real time depends on use cases, we'll be use the specific version, and then we'll be create the Lambda function with that specific runtime version. Example, Python 3.9. In our case, I'm going to show you Python 3.9, and also we'll be write that a small Boto3 Python script. Using that script, we'll be create that AMI from the existing EC2 instance. Okay, I will show you later sometime so that you will get some idea. And coming to that custom runtimes also, we can do that, but very rare cases. In case if you required, apart from that, not supported this your script, so we can go with the custom runtime as well. Understand, right? And also container images. You can also, it will be support that container images up to 10 GB, and either it is AWS managed images or custom built images, everything it will support. But when it comes to the real time, right? we won't be use container images related supported Lambda functions. So you can ignore this particular one. Clear, right? Fine. And coming to that limitation, there are multiple limitations, especially first one is maximum execution time one. Let's take an example. I have created the Lambda function that when I trigger the particular Lambda function, the particular Lambda function should be complete within 15 minutes. We don't have any option to increase this particular limitation execution timeout so far, but it may in future, they may increase that execution timeout as well, but currently we don't have. Understand, right? So this one, you have to remember 15 minutes, that is the 900 seconds. And next one, memory allocation. You can allocate memory, minimum is 128 MB, maximum up to 10 GB. We can allocate the specific memory and also ephemeral disk as well. That one also 512 MB to the specific up to 10 GB. Understand, right? And deployment package, whatever you are going to upload the code, right? The code should be 50 MB direct upload and 250 MB unzipped, including layers as well. In the Lambda function, we do have that maximum we can create single Lambda function. We can create the 5 layers, including the 5 layers, everything we can define that 250 MB only. So more than this particular MB, we can upload in the code. We have other options. We can store it in the S3 bucket, the code, and we can call it. That is the second option. But directly uploading the code, we don't have any. I mean, this is the limitation for that particular one. Understand, right? And container image says 10 GB, maximum 10 GB only. And also concurrent execution by default 1000. In case if you want to be increased, yes, it may be possible. You need to raise the ticket with AWS team so that they can help us to increase that particular concurrent executions as well. And environment variable size, it is a maximum 4 KB total. And remember this whatever I am explaining this one, right? It may change frequently. Please have a look our AWS documentation. The reason in future next few months, they may increase that particular execution time mode 15 minutes to 1 hour as well. That is depends on. So you should be have a look at the official documentation so that you will get some idea. But so far it is 15 minutes only. Okay. And coming to the security and IAM required limitation. When you are creating that particular Lambda function, right? During that time, you should be attached to the IAM role with correct permissions. Example, I am creating the Lambda function. In the particular Lambda function, it is going to create the it is going to create the image, it is going to create the tags, and it is going to fetch the existing EC2 instances. For that one, what you have to do, you need to add this particular 3 policies into the particular IAM role, then only the particular Lambda function will be work. And also I will show you later sometimes so that you will get some idea. Fine. Next one is timeout risk and sensitive operations may fail if timeouts are mismanaged. As I said earlier, it is a 15 minutes. So you have to be taking care. The particular Lambda function, when you trigger first time, when you trigger the Lambda function, the Lambda function should be complete within 15 minutes only. Okay, fine. Now coming to the networking constraints, and here you can see that there are one option, guys. Here, when you are creating the Lambda function, whether you want to be create the particular Lambda function within the VPC, yes, you can create it, or without VPC also we can create. In case within the VPC, if you want to be create the particular, you should be having the NAT gateway access to the particular internet. And also ENA limitations as well. In case if we create that particular Lambda function within the VPC, right? There is some ENA specific allocations limitations as well. Okay. But in the reality, right? We won't be create the Lambda function. 99% we won't be create the Lambda function within the VPC. Understand, right? Fine. And coming to the other considerations, one is maximum layer Lambda layers and a single Lambda function, right? We can add the five Lambda layers. Single Lambda function we can add the 5 Lambda layers as well. And also payload size request 6 MB synchronous and also 255 KB asynchronous. This is the request size only, payload request size. This is 6 MB and 256 KB. Understand, right? And coming to the payload size API gateway, that is 6 MB only maximum. And also remember, this Lambda function, it won't be support for GPU intensive workloads. Cannot be used for GPU. And it means like ML model training related one. We can't use this particular Lambda function. Understand, right? Now coming to the final one, as I said earlier, there was some limitations. Okay, we do have, even though if we have a limitations in the Lambda function, we do have a workaround for that particular one. Example, as I said, 15 minutes timeout, right? Instead of Lambda function, what you can do, you can use step functions to chain multiple Lambda functions. We can use the step function service using to chain multiple Lambda functions, and also large payloads. Example, we do have as I said earlier, we have a limitation in the payload as well, right? What we can do, we can upload to S3 and pass the particular objective to the Lambda. We can upload the code in there, and then we can call that particular one. And the need persistent storage, you can either use S3 and a Dynamo or EFS, we can use that particular one. And also VPC access with internet, we can attach to the NAT gateway, or you keep Lambda outside the VPC. Whatever option you want, you can use it. But remember, depends on Lambda function we are going to create, whether you want to be created within the VPC or without outside of the VPC, you have to decide. If you create the within the VPC, that particular Lambda function, it will be execute, it will be work within the VPC only. It will be resolved within the VPC only. Understand, right? Any questions now? And coming to that, you may ask question, Murli, Lambda function, this one, and also you can go to that AWS account. Lambda is the region specific. Now, currently, I'm in the North Virginia. Now I'm going to the Lambda, and here you can see that run code without thinking about servers. Now you can click this particular one. And here you can see that this is our Lambda function dashboard. Now you can click here, and here you can select the functions. Currently, we don't have any Lambda functions. Now you can create the Lambda function. And here you can see the runtime. As I said, we do have multiple runtimes available. Whatever you want, you can select it. In our case, right, we are going to use the Python 3.9. Understand, right? We are going to write that Boto 3 using Boto 3, write the Python script and create the AMI from the particular EC2 instance automatically every 2 minutes, every 1 day, whatever. And also we'll be use the UN bridge to create the schedule, everything. Clear, right? Any questions now? Any questions now? Now here you have to remember one thing, guys. Lambda function usually, especially if you are doing any automation. Example, as I said earlier, if you have any EC2 instance, you want to take the backup. If you want to create the AMI from the particular EC2 instance, that one it will be taking care of it, DevOps team or Cloud Ops team or SRE team. So then what you have to do, you need to write the script and you need to create the Lambda function. You need to define that every 6 hours or every 1 day, you need to trigger the Lambda function, and you need to be create the AMI automatically. That is one of the option we'll be creating as a DevOps engineer. We'll be creating that particular Lambda function. And the second one, right? Usually developer, they may write the code. Okay. Usually they will be taking care, they will be create the Lambda function. They will log into the AWS account and they will be create the Lambda function. They will be taking care. In case if they are facing any issues related to permissions, example, inside the IAM role, you need to add the specific permissions. So that one we need to be taking care. As a DevOps engineer, we need to be taking care. Some of the projects, right, what they will do, they will be give the, as a developer, they will give that code. Okay, they will create the zip file and they will be give the code. Then what we will do, right? We have to be create the Lambda function. They will be raise the ticket. Then what you have to, they will be mention everything, what type of Lambda function you are going to create, which runtime, what is the version of the particular runtime, everything they will be provided inside the ticket, and then we need to be created. That's why you should be basic idea about how do we create the Lambda function, and if something happen in terms of permissions related issue, how do we provide the attach the policies to the specific IAM role, everything you should be aware. Okay. Now we are going to discussing about automated AMI backup for EC2 instances using Lambda function. Using Lambda function, how do we take the how do we create the AMI for the particular EC2 instance? Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. For that one, right, here we have a EC2 instance that is a dev-MySQL. So now what we are going to do, we are going to take the, we are going to create the AMI. Usually what we will do, we'll be select this one and we'll go to the actions and we'll be create that AMI, right? So instead of creating manually, I wanted to create the AMI automatically. Example, I want to run every 10 minutes, every day, every 2 days. I want to take the backup. I want to create the AMI. How do we do? So instead of creating manually, we can use Lambda function to take the backup. Okay. For that one, right, here we have a AWS 0 to hero. Here we have a day 30. And here I already written that README file and step-by-step process. And also here we have a Lambda function. Remember this particular Lambda function we have written in the Python Boto 3. So I will explain in detail what exactly this one. Then we will be create the Lambda function, and then we will be take the backup as well. So first we can go with this one and select this particular one. If you see here we are importing three things. One is Boto 3 and the date time and also logging. Okay. And here also I have mentioned that in the README file also, each and everything what exactly it will do. If you see here, Boto 3, it will be interact with the AWS services and the date and time for timestamping backup and also logging for logging information error related. For that one, we are importing that logging as well. Okay. These three are understood, right? First, next step is here you can see that setup logging and also initializing the client. If you go here, this is the step logger logging dot get logger, and also set level is info level. We mentioned that. And also if you come down and here you can see that EC2 underscore client, and here we are initializing the EC2. If you see here, initializing EC2 client using this particular EC2 underscore client is equal to Boto 3, the specific one. And next one, we are defining the function that is get MySQL instance IDs. And also here we can see that try and exception we have written. And here we are filtering the particular, if the particular instance, instances name is dev-mysql, it will be capture that particular instance IDs. It will be capture the particular instance IDs and it will return the instance IDs. If you see here in our case, here we have EC2 instance. If you go to the tags, right, currently we have only one EC2 instance. The particular EC2 instance name, the value is dev-mysql. It means it will be capture this particular one. It will be capture this particular one. If you see here we mentioned that specific one. Understood, right? In case if you're not finding these tags, right, it will be give the exception like, hey, the particular error fetching instance IDs. Here we are seeing that particular one. Next one, right? Next another one is diff function. We are defining that create a EC2 backup. Now earlier we found that instance IDs. From that particular instance ID, we are going to create the AMI. For that one, this is our Python script, that Boto 3 related one. Here also we mentioned the try and also exception as well. Okay, try and exception, here we can see that. And here we mention that fetching that particular instance IDs and also tags as well, and extract the name tag. Okay, and also timestamp AMI ID, we are defining the specific one, and all response, whatever we are getting the response, that instance ID is equal to instance ID, name is equal to AMI, and description, everything. Okay, no reboot, we are mentioning true. If you remember when you are taking that AMI, right, during that time it will ask like whether you want to be reboot or not. Here we mention that no reboot equal to true. Okay, and also AMI ID, and here we mention the specific AMI created successfully. And also we are defining that tagging as well, the particular AMI IDs to identify easily. For that one, we are adding here. One is team is DevOps, and the name is equal to AMI underscore name. AMI underscore name is nothing but the particular AMI underscore name. It will be apply this one, backup hyphen name underscore tag hyphen timestamp, whatever, whenever it is created, right, the particular timestamp will be place it here. Okay, understood, right? And also here we mention that logger.info, the particular whatever we give, right, it is printing there. And also it will return that AMI ID. In case if it's not found, it will get the error like creating AMI for instance ID, the specific error, we can see that one. And also final one, this is a diff function, and here we are defining that Lambda handler. Remember this particular Lambda handler, this particular handler only we need to define when you are creating the Lambda function. During that time, you need to define this one. Depends on this particular one only, it will be execute the entire Lambda function. If you see here, Lambda function entry point. Okay, and instance IDs is equal to whatever get one, and if not, it will throw the error like status code 404, no instance found with, the name is equal to dev-mysql. And also here you can see that AMI IDs, for instance, and it is returning. If you found that, it will create a right, it will showcase that backup completed for AMIs, that is the AMI ID. Remember, if you want to be understand this particular Python script, right? You should be basic idea about Python scripting and also both three related one, so that you can understand this one. And also one more thing, in this lambda underscore function, I already mentioned in that GitHub before, just copy paste and you can do that. And here again, I'm repeating, here we have a one EC2, and then we have mentioned that name is equal to dev-mysql, team is the DBA. Now what we are going to do, we are filtering with this particular name is called dev-mysql. Wherever those instances, right, it will be take the backup. We need to take the backup. That is the script it will do. And also, as I said, here I have mentioned that in detail everything. Please have a look this documentation as well, readme file, so that you will get some idea what exactly everything. You will get some idea on this one. Okay, clear, right? And also here you can say that if it is success, it will get this one. If it is failure, it will get this one. We can see that both success and failure, so that you will get some idea. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? No questions, right? Fine. Now what is the next one? Now we have a server and also we have a script as well. Now we need to create the lambda function so that we can take the backup. For that one, you can go here and here you can type it a lambda, and then you can go here for that one, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give the particular lambda function name is EC2 MySQL backup. EC2 MySQL backup. The reason, right? This is our MySQL server, right? That's why we mentioned that EC2 MySQL backup. If you want, you can give any name, that is fine. Now here you can go left side and then click that functions. And here we can see that currently we don't have any functions. Here you have to remember one thing, guys. This lambda function is region specific. Currently I'm in the North Virginia. Okay. Now you can click the create a function. And then here we have a multiple ways. Author from scratch, use blueprint, and also container image. Usually in real time, we always use the author from scratch only. But practice purpose, if you want to use existing hello world function, you can do that one. But in our case, right, I'm selecting that author from scratch. And here you can select that function name. And here I'm giving that EC2 MySQL backup. And here most important, runtime. Runtime, it will support, as I said earlier, right? It will support multiple Node.js, Python, Java. There are multiple. But in our case, right, our script is Boto3, that is a Python one. So what you have to do, I'm going to select the Python 3.9. I'm selecting that Python 3.9. Here you have to remember the latest version is Python 3.13. But here I'm going to select the Python 3.9. Just select this one. And here most important, whether it is architecture x86 or ARM. 99% it will be x86 only. Just select the x86 and then you can come down and then you can expand this change default execution rule. And here you have to remember, guys, if you want to be execute this particular lambda function, we need to create the IAM role, and then we need to add the specific permissions. Here we have two types. One is if you want to be create the basic lambda permissions, you can select this one. Or if you are already existing, right, you can select the existing role. You can select this one. And in case if you want to be create a new role from AWS policy template, you can do that. But in my case, right, what I'm going to do, first I'm going to create the new role with basic lambda permissions. Select this one. Okay, now what will happen? It will be create the one lambda function. We can see that what are the permissions added, and then whatever required additional permissions policies will be added later. Now you can select this one. Okay, now you can come down and go to the additional configuration. In case if you want to be enable code signing, if you want, you can do that. If you want to be enable KMS as well, you can do that. And also function URL, if you want to give it, you can do that. And also if you want to be added the tags as well, you can add it. In my case, right, I'm going to add the tag name, and then I'm giving the value here and the team. And here I'm giving the DevOps. Okay, now here we have added this two. And the next one, right, if you want to be enable the VPC, you can do that one. If you enable this VPC, right, this lambda function, it will be work within the VPC only. Usually 99% we won't be using this particular enable VPC. Just uncheck this one. In case if you want to be enable VPC level, you can do that one. That is your wish. Okay, if you enable this one, again I'm repeating, this lambda function will work within the VPC only. Okay, but in my case, I'm not doing, just uncheck this one, just create the function. Now, once you create the function, right, what will happen? It will be create the lambda function, and also it will create the IAM role as well. The particular IAM role, it contains the basic lambda permissions. Now, if you see here, lambda function is created. This is our EC2 MySQL backup, and this is our lambda function is created. Okay, clear, right? Now here you can see that in the code, right? By default, lambda underscore function dot py, and here you can see that just it is hello world lambda function related one. It by default it will come. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? Now if you want, you can see it here. Code properties, package total size, and also the specific one when it was last modified, and KMS if you want, you can whether you enable or not KMS. And here also most important, guys. Here you can see that runtime setting and Python 3.9 and handler. This is one of the most important. Yeah, how do we know this handler? If you remember earlier, we have written the script. Here we mentioned that handler name. This particular handler name and this particular name, lambda function dot this particular name, both should be matched. In our case, right, we are taking the default one. Default one, this particular one, lambda underscore handler. In our case, our script also having the same name only. So it should be good. But sometimes in the real time, right, this particular handler name will be different. Then what you have to do, you need to come here and you need to edit this particular one. And then here, if you instead of lambda underscore handler, right, just you can change this one and you can add it whatever you want, whatever you mention inside the script. Understood, right? Fine, clear. And here one more thing, in case if you want to be change the version as well, runtime version, you can do that one. But in my case, I'm selected 3.9. That is fine. Now you can cancel this one. Now you can come down, let's say, and then layers. We don't have any layers currently. That is fine. Just go here. Next one, go to the test. Here, if you want to be test this particular event, you can do that one. First, what I'm going to do, here we can see that default one, it will print the hello from lambda, right? Now what you can do, right? Just go to the test and then here you can click the test one. Now you can see that output. If you see here, now we are getting the status code 200 and the whatever output, right? Hello from lambda, it is printed. Okay, just a sample one I have showcased, but in our case, right, we need to define this particular script. I will show you later sometime. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? And then go to the monitor, and here you can see that CloudWatch logs as well, application signals, X-ray, traces, Lambda insights, everything can do see it here. How many invocations happen, duration, everything you can see it here. Currently, we don't have anything, right? Currently, just now we have created, that's why. And here you can see that recent invocations, and also here you can see that one by one, everything you can able to see it here. Next one, configuration. In case if you want to do the configuration, you can do that. And here, right, here you can see that memory 128 MB and then ephemeral storage, that is 512 MB. In case if you want to be change it, you can do that. Here you can see that timeout is 3 seconds only. Okay, maximum 15 seconds. And here you can see that if you want, you can change it here. That is fine. And then here you can see that use existing role. That is the existing role only. Whatever role is created, right? That role it is added. In case if you want to be change the role also, you can come here and you can change it. Currently, I'm not changing anything. Now next, go to the triggers, and here you can see that any this particular lambda function, any triggering added. Example, event bridge. Okay, inside the event bridge, we can mention that every 10 minutes I need to trigger automatically lambda function, everything we can declare there. Okay, later sometime I will show you. This is the configuration. And go to the permissions as well. And here you can see the permission related. And here it is created the role. As I said, right, it will be create the default basic role. Now you can click this one. And here you can see that EC2 MySQL backup role. And it is added that this one. And here you can see that this is our policy it is added. In this particular policy, these are the permissions available. One is logs, create a log group. The reason, right, when we run the lambda function, during that time, the log group will be created. The particular logs will be stored in the particular log group only. Next one, which resource, that is only within the same AWS account. That's why it is mentioned this particular one. Next one, create a log stream and put log events. It is only pushing from this particular lambda function only. Instead of giving star, it is added only specific lambda function. This particular lambda only inside this particular log group only. If you see here inside the log groups, it will be push the logs as well. Understood, right? This is the role. Now I can go here. Next destination. If you have any destinations, you can see it here. Currently, we don't have function URL. If you want to add it, you can add it, but we won't be use function URL. Just leave it. And environment variables. This is also one of the most important. Sometimes inside the lambda function, if you maintain any environment variables, here you can add it key value. If you see here, add environment variable, key and value, you can add it. But in our case, we haven't used any environment variable. That's why I'm not adding anything. Just leave it this one. Now you can cancel this one. Okay. Now here you can go with tags. If you remember when we were creating during that time, we gave that a name and team, right? Those tags is added here. That is fine. Go to the VPC. And then here you can see that if you want to be added this particular Lambda function within the VPC, you can edit this one. And here you can add this particular Lambda function within the VPC only. Understood, right? Now fine. Now if you want to be RDS database connections, and also if you want to monitor, you can see it here. If you want to edit the specific one, and if you see here, if you remember in the IAM role, here you can see the log group related one. The particular log group is created. How the log group will be there? AWS/Lambda, and then whatever Lambda function, that is EC2 MySQL backup. If you click this one, and here you can see that the specific log group is created automatically when we were creating the Lambda function. If you see here, AWS Lambda, the specific one, and here you can see that if you have any logs, now you can click this one, and here you can check that particular logs as well. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? No questions. Fine. Now you can come down. And here you can say concurrence and this one as well. We won't be used, just leave it. Asynchronous invocation, that is also fine. We are not adding anything, just leave it. Code signing, file system, state machines. If you want to be added the state machines also, you can add it, but we won't be used much, just leave it. Alias, if you want to be added any alias, you can do that. Versions, and if you want to be publish any new version, you can do that. This one also we won't be using. And here you can see that this is our Lambda function, and here you can see that function ARN as well. Any questions now? And here you can see that if you want to add any trigger, you can do that. If you want to add any destination, we can add it as well. Now what I'm going to do, in our case, we have a script, just copy this script. Now we can integrate this one. For that one, right, go to the code, and then here we have a Lambda function, that is function name is lambda underscore function.py. Just we can give it same name. And in case if you want to be change it, right click this one, rename this one. If you want, you can change your Lambda function name. But in my case, right, I'm giving same. Just remove this one, existing one. Just remove this existing one. And then I'm adding here. Now I have added here. Just once you add it here, right, you need to save it. If you want to be save it, what you have to do, you need to give it deploy. Deploy is nothing but it will save that particular whatever you have added this one, modified this one. Okay. Now you can click this deploy. Now what will happen? It is, if you see here, it is updating the function. Yeah, successfully updated the function as well. Now we are clear. Now what you have to do, in case if you have any environment variables, here you can see that currently we don't have any environment variables. That's why it is showing that empty. That is fine. Now what I'm going to do, now we need to trigger this one. How do we do? For that one, here we have a test option. If you click the test, here it is showing that create a new test event. Just click this one. And then here we have an option invoke. If you invoke this one, right, here it will be showcase. Wait for a few seconds, or else you can go to the test as well. Click the test, and here what you can do, you don't require to pass anything here, but sometimes, right, it depends on you have written the Lambda function. You can also pass that particular JSON script input value, and then you can test this one. But in our case, in our script, right, we don't require anything. We don't require to define any JSON script. Just what you can do, just click the test. If you see here, I did the test one. Now what we are getting? We are getting that status code 404, and here it is throwing the error like no instances found where name is equal to dev-mysql tag. And here you may ask question, Murli, here in our case, our EC2 instance having that particular tag name is equal to dev-mysql. But in Lambda function, here we are seeing this one particular one. Now what you have to do, now you can come down a little bit, and here you can see that exact error. Why it is throwing the error? If you observe here, this is our IAM role. This particular role is not authorized to perform EC2 describe instances. EC2 describe instances. If you see here, this is our IAM role for Lambda function. This particular Lambda function, here you can see the policy related to log group only, CloudWatch related. But in our case, here, what we are doing, we are describing that particular instances. For that one, if you see here, we don't have access. That's why here it is throwing that it is not authorized to perform EC2 describe instances because no identity-based policy allows to this particular action. Understood, right? This is the error you are getting. That's why here you are getting that no instance no instance spawned with this specific one. Understood, right? Now what you have to do, you need to add this particular EC2 the describe instances policy. Now what we can do, right? Here you can see that this is the version statement, effect allow we are giving, action we have added that describe instances, and then resources we gave the star means it is allow all. Now what I'm going to do, just copy this policy. Now you can go to the IAM role, and then here you can create the inline policy, create an inline policy, and then here you can give it JSON, and then click that JSON, and then you can place it here. Here you may ask question, Murli, instead of adding this policy, why can't we add it that AWS managed policy? We can add it EC2 read only, or we can add it full policy. But the thing is, we don't want to give all permissions. We wanted to give only whatever we required. That's why here we are adding that EC2 describe instances only. Okay. Now what you can do, now you can click the next. Okay. Now here it is asking that EC2 instance. Okay. Just I'm giving that EC2 instance. Now you can click this EC2 instance policy. Okay. Now you can click the create a policy. If you see here we have added the policy. In inline policy we have added, and here you can see that we gave that EC2 describe instances, whatever we saw that error. Now what you can do, right, when you run that test one again, right, it will be, you can't see this particular error. Let's see that. Now what I'm going to do, just go to the function again, just refresh this page. Sometimes what will happen, right, once you add it, you may need to wait 5 to 10 seconds. So reflect the changes. Okay. Usually it will take immediately. Now you can go to the test. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click the test one. Now if you see here it is showing that executing function success. Now you can click this one. And if you see here status code, we got that 200. But backup completed for AMI, it needs to be print that AMI ID. It needs to be print the AMI ID. If you remember, if you see here backup completed for AMI, and we need to print the AMI ID. But here you can see that it is not printed. Now you can come down a little bit, and here we can see that error creating AMI for instance ID. The reason unauthorized operation. What error we are getting? We are getting that create image ID. If you see here, this particular IAM role, we are getting that is not authorized to perform EC2 create an image. EC2 create an image. Now what you have to do? Existing inline policy, we need to add this particular one as well. EC2 colon create image policy, we need to add it. Then only it will take the backup of that particular AMI. Okay. Now what I'm going to do? Now you can go here. Now we need to add this particular create image. Just copy this one. Okay. Now you can go to that Lambda function IAM role, edit this one, existing inline policy. Now come down a little bit. Now you can click this one. Now you can give it EC2 create image and then describe one. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click next, and then I'm saving this one. If you see here, we have saved this particular one, and also we have added that EC2 create an image. EC2 create an image. Now what you have to do, just go here, click the function, just refresh this page. Now what you can do, just click this particular one. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it again. Just test one, click the test. Let's see. Now if you see here, execution succeed, that is fine. But still it is not yet printed the particular image ID. Now you can come down a little bit. Now we can say, if you see here, earlier we got that create image. Now we are getting that created tags. The reason, if you remember in our script, if you go up a little bit, here we are adding the tags, the specific one. One is team is DevOps, name is equal to that particular instance name we are adding. That's why it is throwing the error. Created tags. Before going to do this one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to check whether AMI is created or not. Now you can come down. If you go here, AMI, here you can see that AMI is created. Successfully is created. But if you see here, it is not added the name. And also, if you click this one, if you go to the tags, it is not added the tags related to one is team, second one is name. This two is not added. The reason in the Lambda function, we are getting the error. This particular IAM role, whatever role is not authorized to perform EC2 create a tag. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this particular EC2 create tag as well. Now what you can do, just go here, just copy this one, EC2 colon, create tags. Now you can go here. Now I'm going to this particular policy, click this one. Okay. And then here I'm going to add it. Why I'm going to show you this, instead of adding that full permissions, I'm showcasing this error, right? You will get some idea in real time also. You will be faced this type of permissions issue. Instead of adding the full permissions, we need to add it like this. We can create either inline policy or whatever. Okay, customized policy can do that. Next, click the next. Now you can save it this one. If you see here, now if you come down a little bit, now you can expand this one. Let's say, now if you see here, here it is created the, here we mentioned that create a tag as well. Again, I'm repeating, here we got that error related to EC2 create tags. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to existing this one, just refresh this page. In case if you are not refreshing this page and if you're running again after added, right, what is happening, right? It is not picking up. That's why just click the next one. Now if you see here, now you can expand this. Now if you see here, now we are able to see that backup completed for the particular AMI as well. It is also printed that particular AMI ID. If you come down little bit, and here you can see that AMI created successfully. Tagging also it is done successfully. The tag name also, if you see here, backup-dev-mysql, that date and the specific time it is added. And also here you can see that how much time it took and how much memory utilized, everything you can see it here. Understood, right? Now you can go here, just refresh this page, and here you can see that second one, this first one, it is added perfectly, and also added the tags as well, and also it is created the backup as well. But here, if you remember, in Lambda function, I'm triggering this one, so it is taking the backup. That is fine. But I wanted to do the automation. Instead of running manually, go to test, and instead of doing manually this particular one, right? I wanted to run this particular Lambda function every 10 minutes, every midnight, every day. Okay. I wanted to run every 6 hours. So how do we do? For that one, right? What you can do, this particular Lambda function, we need to add the trigger. You need to add the trigger. If you see here, if you click the add trigger, here we have a destinations, we have multiple. If you see here, here you can see the sources are multiple. You can see that there are multiple. But in our case, right, what we are going to do, we are going to use the event bridge. We are going to use the event bridge. This one, we are going to use it. Just click this one. And here, if you have existing one, you can select this one. If you don't have existing one, what you have to do, you need to create the new role, and then we can add it this one. Now what I'm going to do, instead of creating here, now I'm going to the event bridge. Remember guys, event bridge, here we need to create the role. So the specific role, right? We can define when you want to be run that particular job, whether you want to be run every 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, every 6 hours, depends on use cases. Okay. Now here you can see that left side rules, click the rules, and here you can see that event bus. And now I'm going to create the rule, and here I'm giving that the specific rule name. What is the rule I'm going to give it? I'm going to give it example daily EC2 MySQL backup. Example I'm telling guys, here I'm giving that daily EC2 MySQL backup, and description also I'm giving here, and the event bus the default one, and then you can come down, and here you can select the schedule one, because we need to schedule, right? Every 6 hours or every 10 minutes, whatever. And instead of, if you want, you can use that event bridge scheduler. You can do that, or else here we can select that continue to create a rule. This particular event bridge scheduler, it recently came. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select that continue to create a rule. Just click this one. And here, most important guys, whether you want to be set up cron tab, you can do that one. Example, every Monday I want to run that job, automatically Lambda function. During that time, we can select this cron expression, and here you can give it minutes, hours, day of month, day of week, year, everything. In case if you are not aware cron related one, right? Please have a look our DevOps course. In the DevOps course, I already covered cron tab related one. You will get some idea. But in my case, right, instead of triggering every midnight, every one, right, for practicing purpose, to showcase purpose, right, what I'm going to do, I'm scheduling that specific time. Here I'm giving that every 2 minutes, I need to run that one. And here you need to select whether it is minutes, hours, or days. In my case, I'm selecting that minutes. It means every 2 minutes, this particular rule will be triggered. Okay, this particular rule, wherever it is configured. Example, in my case, I'm going to add this particular rule to the Lambda function. Okay, now what will happen? this particular rule will be triggered. The Lambda function will be triggered automatically every 2 minutes. Now what I'm going to do, just click next. And here you can see that Lambda function, whether it is target type, whether it is AWS service, whether it is event bridge, event bus or API destination. But in our case, AWS service. And here you need to select that Lambda function. Now you can select the Lambda function. And here most important, whether it is target in this account or a different account. In our case, right, our Lambda function is available in the same account only. So just select this one. Now I can select here, and here you can see that EC2 MySQL backup. Select this one. Now you can come down, and here you can see that if you want to be use existing role, you can do that. If you want to be use create a new role, or if you want to be use existing role, you can. If you have any existing role, you can do that one. But in my case, right, I'm going to create the new role for this specific source. Okay. Now you can click the next. Now here, if you want to be added any tags, you can add it. In my case, right, I'm adding here name, this one, and what is that? Team. This one is DevOps, right? I'm giving the DevOps. Okay. Now you can click the next, and then you need to be review it, whatever you mentioned. If you want, you can edit again. Just you can create this one. Now we have created this particular rule as well. Now if you see here, this is the rule we have created, and also it is showing that enable schedule standard only we have used. And here you can see that ARN and description. Now you can click this one. And also here you can see that all the configurations related one. And also if you want to be edit this every 2 minutes instead of 2 minutes, right? If you want, you can run it every 10 hours, 5 minutes, whatever. But for practice purpose, I want to showcase, right, whether it is triggering or not. That's why I have mentioned that 2 minutes. And you can go to the targets. Here you can see that this particular rule, which Lambda function is added. If you see here, this is the Lambda function we have added. In case if you want to add in more, you can add it here. And monitoring also, you can check it here. The monitoring related information, if you want, you can check it in the CloudWatch as well. Here it will capture every 5 minutes. Currently, we don't have anything. That's why invocations, nothing happened here. Okay, clear, right? Fine. Tags, you already aware. If you want, you can check the tags as well. This is the point. Now what I'm going to do, right? Go to the Lambda function. Go to the Lambda functions, and here you can select the function. And here you can see that, right? There we have added in the event bridge we have added. So wait for a few seconds. So we have created the event rule, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this particular one. So for that one, right, here you can see that in the Lambda function, add trigger, click this one and select the source. And here I'm giving that event bridge. Okay, here you can see that event bridge, that is the CloudWatch events only. Just select this one. And if you want to be create existing, we already created, right? That's why you have to select the existing rules. Select here. And here I'm selecting that daily EC2 MySQL backup. Select this one. And here you can see that when it will be triggered. We mentioned that every 2 minutes. Don't confuse that particular rule name. We mentioned that daily EC2 backup, but I want to showcase the demo, right? Whether it is triggering or not. That's why I mentioned that rate limit every 2 minutes only. So now what you can do, now you can click this add one. Now we have added this particular one. That is fine. Now you can click this particular one. And here you can see that in the trigger section, right? Here we have added. In case if you want to add another one also, you can add it here. So what you have to do, we need to wait for 2 minutes so that it will automatically trigger. Before going to do, right, here we have a 2 EC2 instances, 2 AMIs. Now what I'm going to do, total 4. What I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this one. Deregister, delete this one. Okay, I have deleted. Wait for 2 minutes so that here we can see that one. Okay. Yeah, if you see here, that AMI was created automatically. The Lambda function is trigger 2 minutes. That's why here you can see that backup -dev-mysql that particular date and time. Remember, guys, this time it is showing that UTC format, and also you can go ahead and check it in the Lambda function as well, so that you will get some idea. If you see here, this is the one 16:18:56. If you go here 16:18:55, that is almost seconds wise. Okay, so here it was triggered. Understand? This is automatically trigger. In case if you want to be check the logs as well, just click this one. So it will be automatically redirect to CloudWatch logs. And here you can see that whether the particular AMI is created or not, everything. You can see it here. Here you can see that the specific one and found the credentials, and also here you can see that everything. Okay, now what you can go here and go to refresh this page, and it might be created another one as well, because every 2 minutes it is triggering, right? That's fine. If you see here now, it is if you see here 0620. Earlier it was 06 means 6:18 a.m. That is the UTC format, and here you can see 0620. Okay, every 2 minutes it is running that particular Lambda function instead of running manually, right? What you can do, we can use event bridge. There we can define that schedule if you want to be run when you want to be run that particular Lambda function. Now it is triggering, everything's fine. Understood, right? Any question? So here you may ask question, Murli. Here it is running every 2 minutes. Okay, that is fine. In case if you mention every day also it is creating. But the thing is, we wanted to maintain last 10 AMIs or 15 AMIs or last 4 AMIs only, right? Instead of maintaining all, then what we'll do, right? In the particular Boto 3, the particular Python script only will be mentioned that we wanted to maintain only for last latest 4 AMIs only. Remaining it will automatically delete. Like that we have to be right in that particular Python script. Understood, right? But in my case, I haven't written, but just for I'm telling. Okay, just for FI. Understood, right? Now it is triggering every 2 minutes. If you see here, 18, 20, 22. Every 2 minutes triggering. That is fine. Super awesome. Now what you have to do? And also here you can see that recent invocations. And also here you can see that most expensive, the specific cost it is happened. And also everything can see it here. And in case if you want to be delete this particular one, you can delete that function as well. Okay, and everything if you want, whatever you want, you can do this one. Understood, right? This is the process of creating the Lambda function. And here you have to remember one thing, guys. In real time, usually Lambda functions will be taking care by creation part, everything taking care by usually developers only. We will be give the access to them. They will be taking care. In case as showcase, right? If you get any issues related to permissions issues related, example, create the particular tag. Okay, create image, create tags, and also describe instances, right? If you get this type of permissions issues, then what we will do? They will reach out us. We need to add that, so it depends on issues occur. Okay. But second thing is, right, sometimes, right, they may give the code and then we need to set up the Lambda function. Sometimes it depends on, that is, as I said, right, that is a depends on use cases. Then you should be aware of. And also in real time, here I have showcased the Python related one, but in real time, right, we may have Node.js related one, we may have Java related one, whatever. Usually, mostly in real time, Node.js and Python will be create the Lambda functions. That too, in case if when it comes to the DevOps related, we'll be write that automation. Example, in my case, in our case, I have showcased that creating the AMI, right? Similarly, if you want to do any automation, we'll be use that Lambda function. There we can configure that. We'll be write that Python script or Node.js, whatever. And then we'll be configure the Lambda function. And then we'll be trigger every, depends on use cases, guys. We can trigger, if you want to be trigger every 2 minutes, you can define that using event bridge, where we'll be define, and then Lambda function, it will automatically trigger and it will do the automation. And here one of the most advantage, right? Whenever trigger that whenever trigger this Lambda function, then only they will be charged. Otherwise, it won't be charged anything. Understood, right? Any questions now? Any questions? Now what I'm going to do, our practice is completed. Now I'm going to delete this particular Lambda function. Now go here, just delete this one. And then here I'm giving the confirm. I hope understood, right? Again, I'm repeating, you should be basic idea about Lambda function. Then in case if interview level, if they ask also, you can easy to tell, okay, yeah, usually we'll be taking care, creating the Lambda function. When you do the automation, we'll be created. In case with the developer, if they need any help, we will be help them to create the Lambda function, everything. Now here I'm delete this one. Okay, Lambda function is deleted. Now I can click this one. Now I'm going to the event bridge rule, go to the rules, and here also I'm deleting the this one. Go here, delete this. Okay, now I'm going to delete the EC2 instance as well. Go to the EC2 instance. Yeah, I'm deleting this one, or I'm temporarily I'm stopping this one. Just stop this particular one. Clear, right? Any question? Just I'm recapping what we did. We have created, we have written the Python script, and also the particular script is available in this particular day 30 lambda underscore function.py. There I have mentioned everything. And we have created the EC2 instance. There we have mentioned name is dev-SQL and team is DevOps. If any instance it contains that dev-MySQL, so I need to take the I need to create the AMI. For that one, we have written the Boto3. Using Boto3, we have written the Python script, and then we have created the Lambda function. There we have mentioned that, and also we have triggered that manually. It was creating, but instead of creating the manually, I want to trigger automatically. For that one, we use that Python, sorry, event bridge. There we have mentioned that I want to run every 2 minutes. So we configured everything. Every 2 minutes, the particular AMIs are created. Clear, right? So, and also we need to delete that AMIs as well. Now you can go here. I'm deleting this one. We don't want to waste money. Okay. I can click this one. Clear, right? Any questions now? Now I hope you understood how do we create the Lambda function, how it will work, what are the major uses of Lambda function in real time, everything. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn, Instagram, Telegram. And also we have a Tech with Murli website. In this website, I already publish all the DevOps related courses, DevOps, AWS, Kubernetes, AWS networking, DevOps project, Helm. Okay. And also we have a Tech with Murli YouTube channel. Here I'm publishing one by one video. Please, you can subscribe here to get more updates. Okay. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next video.